All right, today we're going to have a look at the HSP, what is it? HSP Roll R cover. All right, so a little bit of background about this one. This one is an optional extra when you buy the Pro 4X Nissan Navara from Nissan. From memory, I think. Actually, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but the option I opted for at the very beginning when I first purchased this a couple of years ago was the soft tonneau cover. So every other, I've had two other previous Navaras, and I've got a nice old Holden Ute. Now, all three of those had these soft tonneau covers on them. I thought they were great, they were versatile. You could put a little bit more on there because you got more flex in the cover, and it's worked. What I found with the soft tonneau cover from Nissan when I first purchased this Navara was that closing the tarp at the tailgate came exceptionally difficult. So you sort of got to pull the tarp towards you, then push it down and then run along. So the lip, or the lip on the tarp and the lip on the tailgate, they mesh together all nicely and you run along and create a seal. I found that getting exceptionally difficult to the point where I was cracking the actual shits in public. Not a pretty sight, not very mature. Some people would say that's Andy in a nutshell anyway, not being very mature. So I had a look, I did some research, and there's a lot of hard tonneau covers out there. There's a lot of hard covers out there. A lot of them are all manual, right? You got that bit of fabric, cord hang down underneath. You've got to manipulate that to get your hard cover to open. And then you've also got to make sure that doesn't get caught up when you're packing up so that you can close it at the end of the day or when you're ready to move off. I'm getting lazy, right? Unless I'm getting mature, I'm aging. There we go. I don't think I'm getting older. I'm aging. So I want to take things a little bit more gentle now. I'm not 10 foot tall and bulletproof and I can throw myself at fences anymore, or gates or poles or walls or anything. I have problems throwing myself out of bed in the mornings. So I opted for, now I also did look at the canopies, okay? So I didn't look at replacing the whole tray because that was just too expensive. And I don't see this Navara being my long-term vehicle. So I was looking at the canopies as well, and I just couldn't, the canopy that I would have really liked with the reinforced top and everything else that fit nicely on the back of the truck, it was a little bit more out of budget than what I expected to pay, or what I wanted to pay at the time. And note that for later on. So I opted for the hardcover. So then I started looking around once I figured out that it's what I wanted, and then I come across the HSP Roll R cover. So fully automated, hooks up. We'll actually go through what's the word? It's not specifications. We'll go through what it comes with. We'll go through what I like. We'll go through what I dislike. And then I'll highlight whether I'd buy it again or not if I had the chance again. Let's see what this comes with. So, first cab off the rank is access, opening and closing. I love the fact that it integrates with the central locking of your motor vehicle. To open it, so they just hook it up to your fob, however they do it electronically inside. Those that know me know that I'm not very good with that techie speak. But by pressing the right combinations of buttons at the right time, you can open the Roll R cover, or you can close the Roll R cover. By simply pressing the unlock button twice, wait for it, you can open the roller cover. How cool is that? I don't need to pull on cables, I'm not leaning forward. I can open this from anywhere. I could be sitting down the creek, within range of course, and somebody wants to get a beer out of my fridge that's in the back of my roller cover and I've got the cover closed, I can double tap it. I can double tap it to open it. I can also close this by just double tapping the lock key, and that'll automatically close the roller cover. How cool is that? I don't have to touch a thing apart from my key fob. And because the Navaras at the time didn't come out with central locking on the tailgate, they installed that for me as well when they installed the roller cover. So now I have full central locking all the way around and remote access for my roller cover. Alrighty, the other thing I like about this too is I can access it from the gunnels here on the side of the truck. Now, point to note about this one, if you're going to use this side, your car needs to be unlocked. Oh, I've just opened it. There you go. There's another demo of how, actually, whilst we're here, I can stop that at any time just by pressing the lock key. And then when I want to close it, from there, I can double tap her and away she goes. The important bit to note about here is your vehicle must be unlocked to be able to use the buttons. Now, the other part you need to note about using these buttons, they're a little bit finicky. It's a double tap again. But then you've got to hold it down for the second tap. Now, sometimes you can take your finger off and it'll continue, like now. Other times, I think if you don't hold it down long enough, it'll stop where it's at. So just be mindful of that. And to close it, it's a double tap, and away you go. So they're not actual buttons that push in, they're more like sensors that pick up that your finger's touching them. They're not fingerprints or biometrics or anything like that. It's just a series of the way that you touch it and the way it goes. Now, the other thing I like about this is that HSP have actually developed an app that allows you to operate the roller rocker cover. It's not a rocker cover at all, Andy. It's a roller cover from your phone, which it comes in very handy as well. So if you haven't got your keys on you, you know your car's unlocked, you're out camping or where have you, or you're sitting down and you can't be bothered getting up to open it up and somebody wants to get into your tray, you open the app, hit the button, and away you go. It's also handy if you're traveling down the highway and you're like, oh shit, you see in your rear vision mirror, you can see the top of your fridge. You're like, I shouldn't be seeing that. I shouldn't be seeing that. So open the app up or get your co-pilot, because you shouldn't be using the phone whilst you're driving, to open the app up and operate the control for the roller cover from your phone. Pretty cool. Now, the other feature I like about this is the little light. You may not be able to see it because it may be too bright out here today, but there's a little light right up against the headboard that lights up when it's open. Now, I think from memory, and I'll double check and I'll update this as required, you can set the time frame for which that light needs to stay on or can stay on. And you can do all that from the app on your phone. The other part about the app that I like is also these QR codes, and they'll give you all the information you need online to be able to maintain, sustain, and look after your roller cover. So, Andy, I hear you ask, maybe not, how do we actually, or how does the water come off the hard cover? Because you know a soft cover's got the little canopy bow that goes, canopy bow that goes across the middle of the truck of your ute, and the water just runs off that. On a flat top, it's not going to do that. Well, this roller cover comes with 4 channels as part of the rail system, for the roller cover. They've got 2 at the front and 2 in the rear. And your exits are here, here, and here. Okay, what I don't like about this, now there's probably only one major thing that I don't like about this, and this is the amount of space that you lose once this gets installed. You know, so you may see in some of the clips, and we'll talk about it later on, I've got a platform that sits across that's been bolted onto the bars that come across, that were installed when I got the roller rocker cover, did it again, the roller cover installed on the truck. So what I found though is that with the fridge, I can't put a tray underneath it. Well, I'm in the process of figuring that out, and I'll put a clip up for that later on, once I figured it out. But I'm left with only a couple of mil when I've got the cover on the 45 litre fridge that I've got from Kings. And there it is. I think that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. It's quite simple. It is quite handy. I actually do quite like it. I think it's really good. It serves a really good purpose. It doesn't keep all the dust out. It doesn't keep all the water out. I think the only way you're going to do that, getting a complete seal all the way around, would be to have a proper cover. Canopy over the back of your truck, and even then you're still not guaranteed you're not going to get any dust in there. I know the full canopies where you swap out your tub for the tray, I know you can, well, I haven't used one, I've seen that they are relatively dust and waterproof, those things, but now we're talking about tens of thousands. This one here, fully installed, a little bit around $4,000. I got it done by a mob down in Fish Week in Canberra. I can fop up the details in the comments below so you can have a look. I'll also put a link to the HSP website so you can have a look at that as well. Now, would I buy this again if I had my time? So with big purchases like this, I mean, I struggle spending $100, right? I'm an R and I have a look and I go around. I put on my big boy pants every now and then, and I'm just like, how much would I spend at a pub on a Friday night? I can guarantee it's more than $100, and I don't worry about that. So I did do my research on this one. I did a lot of due diligence. For me at the time, this was the best option available. Now that I've operated it and I've used it and I've had to spend more money so that I can carry more stuff on the back of my truck, not inside the cab. I hate putting my gear inside the cab. I fucking despise it. It irks me. So if I'm going away for an overnighter, I can just fit everything that I need inside the tray of my ute. If I'm going away for 2 nights or more, because now I'm bringing a table, because one night I'll just use the tailgate, right? Or a log of wood or something like that. But if I'm doing more than 2 nights or more, I'm now bringing a table. I'm bringing more gear to cook on. I'm bringing the cast iron so I can do a slow cook or a damper or something like that because I've got the time to do it. Then I need to, put the swag on the back and the stretcher platform may go on the back. If the weather's going to be shit, well then I've got to fit a tent in here as well. So keeping that in mind, would I buy this again? Probably not. Probably not. I'd probably go for I won't say a cheaper variant, but I'd probably go for a canopy that's about the same price. And there's pretty good quality ones out there now. There was back then when I was looking as well. So again, it comes down to your personal use. I mean, so I know some people that love this type of thing because if you're towing, I think if you're towing a van, if you've got a hybrid coming up behind you, like a hybrid camper van, not a caravan. We don't talk caravans on this show. A hybrid caravan, hybrid camper, I think this would be perfect. It'd be great because you've got flat, you can still put some of your stuff in the tray. You've got all the other shit that I'm carrying on the back of my truck in your caravan. No, we don't talk caravans. In the hybrid camper. So it all depends on your preference, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and where you're going. And of course, your budget. That's pretty much it. So I'd be interested to understand or to hear what you have to say. I'd love to see your comments. I'd love to get some of your feedback as well. I'd love to get your thoughts if you've got one of these installed on your truck. Let me know where you're from. Where are you watching? Are you watching from Australia? Are you in a state or a territory in Australia? Let me know. If you're not, I'd love to see who's actually watching this stuff from overseas. And on that note, stick to your path, and I'll see you on the road.